Hello, hello, hello. It's Lisa Turner here from Set Freedom. And if you've been in the spiritual community for any length of time, like I have, you'll have probably heard this idea that the way to raise your consciousness is to stay positive and always be happy. And I'm going to tell you why this, I don't think this works. And not only do I think it doesn't work, I know it doesn't work, but I'm going to explain why it doesn't work and what you could be doing instead that would raise your spiritual consciousness, would raise your vibration, and lead to greater joy. So there's this idea that we just need to stay positive and happy, smiling all the time, and that raises our vibration. Yeah, and the thing is, this is bollocks, because, and here we are the day after the Queen's funeral, and we had this beautiful expression, and I do use these words intentionally, this beautiful expression of grief and sadness and mourning and loss and community and connection. And we had the incredible queue of people, like even it became the queue with a capital Q of people wanting to pay their respects and all the experiences that they had in that process. It's entirely appropriate if somebody has died that you grieve, that you are sad, and that if you, and like I've even heard people say like, oh, the whole vibration of the world is really low now and consciousness is really low because everyone's grieving. And it's like, actually, what if weirdly it might raise consciousness? So let me explain. First of all, what if there's no such thing as a negative emotion? There's just resistance to love, and that emotions are just there as feedback, and that there's actually no connection between your emotional response and your consciousness or spiritual vibration. So the idea is that when circumstances are such that you aren't getting what you want, you're moving away from what you want, and moving towards what you away from what you want and towards what you don't want, it is entirely appropriate that you feel a negative emotion. Entirely appropriate, because with the book that I have here, I have it, honest, I do. It's the book Set Yourself Free. If you've read this book or you've heard me talk about this, we talk about the emotional response cycle. And the emotional response cycle is, you get some information, there's a situation, circumstance, some input. Then you think a thought, so you apply some meaning to that. Then you feel the emotion, whatever that is. Ooh, doesn't feel good. And then you act, you take some course of action. And that course of action, the intention of that is so that you can course correct, so you can move towards what you want and away from what you don't want. So let's use this as an example. Like if you're in this situation where you are being attacked, like physically beaten up, and you don't feel happy about that. You're just not happy. Weirdly, I know some people are crazy, right? Some people are just weirdos, and you're being beaten up and you don't enjoy it. And I mean, if you do, that's fine. No judgment, like each to his own. But if you're being attacked, beaten up, physically hurt, and you're not enjoying it, and you feel a negative emotion, the appropriate response is to go, input is pain, physical pain. Meaning is, I don't like this. This is dangerous. This is uncomfortable. That's the meaning. The emotion is bad, anger, sadness, whatever, fear. And then the behavior is run away or fight back, right? That's what's supposed to happen. What's not supposed to happen is go, hey, hit me again. I love it. Unless you do, in which case that's fine. So that's the emotional response cycle. And the intention is you feel everything. And the thing is, when your consciousness expands, you actually have greater range of emotional response, and you are better resourced to take better, more appropriate, and by more appropriate action. And by more appropriate, I don't mean according to some arbitrary system of rules. What I mean is according to, like, does it get you the result you want or not? So let's use another example. Like a lot of people have been saying, like, how do I stay high vibe and positive when there's so much fear and so much sadness and so much loss, and we've got rising cost of living, we're coming out of a pandemic, there's going to be inflation and all these things that might negatively impact your life. Now, the idea is not to stay positive. The idea is to stay resourced so that you can take empowering action, make empowered decisions and choices, so that you can stay resourced. You can keep your money, you can earn more money, you can help more people. And so the idea is to be resourced, not positive. Now, what happens when you're resourced and you're taking appropriate action is then your emotions start to become more positive, because then you've course corrected and you're getting what you want. It's like if you're heading towards an iceberg, you don't go, hey, speed up, guys, this is fun. Unless, of course, you want to, die and crash into the iceberg and your boat to sink and for you to drown and all your loved ones drown with you. I love it when the babies die, especially when their little arms waggle and they just, go glove. That's such fun. It's like, this is ridiculous. It's like, if bad things are happening, or if things that are happening that you don't want, the appropriate emotional response is, don't like this. And that shows up as anger, someone doing something we don't want; sadness, I'm losing something I love; hurt, people are doing hurtful things to me; fear, I'm afraid I'm going to lose something that I love; or guilt, I'm not being loving enough, I'm not helping enough people, or whatever it is. So that's why you feel emotions, they're not to just be denied and repressed. That's easy for you to say. They're not just to be denied and repressed. They are to be felt and learned from, because there is wisdom in your emotional response. Your emotional response has wisdom. The appropriate thing to do is to ask, what is this emotion telling me? What action do I need to take? What choices can I make to do something different? And then go do that. And then if that moves you further, if that moves you closer to what you want, you will start feeling happy and more joyful and more positive. If that means you move further away from what you want and more towards what you don't want, you've just got more information. And so the idea is not stay positive, but stay resourced and take appropriate action. There's another whole conversation we could have here about separation and unity. So I'll just touch on this here. One of the conversations I've been having with people is this idea of, how do I stay positive, again, when everyone else around me is in fear? And it's like, I want to be happy even though everyone else is really fucking shit scared. Oh, sorry, language. Really upset and fearful. Sorry, blue Australian language there. So the thing is, what you're basically saying is, I want to, when people say this, like, I want to keep my vibe high even when everyone else is low. And it's like, maybe you want to be staying resourced, consciously aware of like just how weird and interesting the situation is. You want to be fully aware of everything that's going on and the consequences of everyone's action, including your own, so that you can stay resourced, so that you can make great decisions for yourself and help more people so that they get more results. Because the thing is, like, if we're heading for recession or whatever, the way for you to be okay in a recession is for you to offer something of value to someone else, so that as many people as possible stay okay in a recession. This isn't about, I want to be okay and screw everyone else. It's about, I want to be okay, and what can I do so that we can, as many people as possible can also be okay. Because when you can do that and offer something of value, they will pay you for it. And guess what? Then everybody wins. And that's how we move out of recession, frankly. So stop trying to stay positive. Aim to say, I'm going to say this in English. Stop trying to stay positive. Aim to stay resourceful and aware, and ask, what is the wisdom of this emotion? What is the wisdom of this emotion, and what action do I need to take? And like, if what's happening is undesirable, and there are lots of undesirable circumstances, stop trying to deny that. Move into and I go, oh, this is what's happening, and then move towards what you do want, because that's how we create a sense of unity, community, connection, and that's how we all stay resourced and we raise the consciousness of the whole planet. All of us together. That's how we do it. I think. But what do you think? Share your thoughts. Let me know. And yeah, I'll talk to you another time. Let me know what your questions are. What are your thoughts on? How's this landing? Love to have a conversation. Join the conversation. And if you want a copy of my free book, let me know, and I will, let me know, put a post and say book please, and I will pop a link to I'll pop a link where you can ask for a free copy. I will put it in an envelope for you. Go down the post office and post it. That's how much I love you and how much I want you to stay resourced. So till then, huge love. Bye for now.